Nobody else?
So who was with you this weekend?
A bunch of my friends.
Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber,
So far,
French
so good.
Montana.
Do you even know half the people you're naming?
No.
I'm a Scorpio. The things that when I'm
saying.
the cold words I have for making love should not be on the Ellen show.
This is how it happened. I met her that night with Ross and Meek, cause she had went to like a Ross concert or something earlier in that day. And I went there. I didn't get her number at the studio. I went back to my crib, and I had a puff. I'm like, yo, I saw Khloe. I want her to come with me to this thing that I had. Cause when I saw her in the studio, I asked her, I was like, yo, you want to come with me to this show? She was like, yeah. But I never grabbed her number right there. I hit up Puff. I'm like, yo, you got her number? And Puff sent her a text like, yo, French wants your number. She was like, give it to him. Then I got her number. I texted her, and we start kicking it.
Yeah, I think you and me were at Puffy's son's birthday party in LA.
Yeah.
And the two of you were hanging out. I remember you guys introduced us.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, "Oh, can I take a picture with her?" And you're like, "No. She don't take pictures." Like,
Kim and Khloe Kardashian are trying to escape a major scandal. Rumor has it that they helped cover up Diddy's illegal activities, which include everything from fraud to trafficking women for his wild parties. Well, it looks like the Kardashians were way more interested in Diddy's lifestyle than anyone thought of. Khloe even admitted to going to one of those parties, casually mentioning names like Justin Bieber and Diddy's stepson Quincy while talking about how everyone was just hanging out naked. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, people are wondering if these parties were a cover for stuff that Kim and Khloe might have been hiding for a long time. And it doesn't stop there. There's also a creepy connection between Kim, her mom Kris Jenner, and a fake church they set up, which is linked to money laundering. This church, called California Community Church, was a great option for funneling Diddy's dirty money disguised as donations. And to make things worse, old photos of Kim at Diddy's parties have popped up, showing her right in the middle of those parties.
You didn't go to bed. I haven't been to bed yet.
You haven't? I want to be Khloe when I grow up, Court.
I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Go to this party. I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it.
So it all started when Khloe Kardashian dropped a bombshell confession that went viral on social media platforms. In a candid video, Khloe casually admitted to attending one of Diddy's notorious parties. She went on to describe the scene at one of these parties where high-profile celebrities, including Justin Bieber and Diddy's stepson, Quincy Combs, were also present. According to her, everyone was moving without wearing their clothes and engaging in sensual activities. For many people, hearing Khloe confess this was shocking enough. But what really fueled the controversy was the fact that she named Justin Bieber, who at the time was still young and connected to Diddy's circle. The thought of a young Bieber attending these adult-themed parties raised eyebrows and made people look more into Diddy's. As Khloe's confession went viral, fans began looking at her ties to Diddy, and what they found was even more disturbing. Her connection to Diddy wasn't just a one-off party attendance, it looked like she had been part of his inner circle for years. Khloe's laid-back attitude in the confession also didn't help her at all, making it seem like this wasn't her first time attending such events. As details from other attendees and insiders began to surface, it became clear that Diddy's were a far cry from regular Hollywood gatherings. They were the center of some very dark activities, and Khloe seemed to be right in the middle of it all. But Khloe wasn't the only Kardashian wrapped up in Diddy's chaos. Soon after her confession, old photos of Kim Kardashian attending Diddy's famous white parties resurfaced. While Diddy's white parties, originally billed as glamorous, star-studded events, were reported to have a much darker side, especially when it came to what went on behind closed doors. In one of the leaked photos, Kim Kardashian, along with her then best friend Paris Hilton, was seen posing on a bed that was expected to be one of the locations where these took place. Though the image itself wasn't explicitly incriminating, the context surrounding it made people question just how involved Kim was in Diddy's notorious lifestyle. As more pictures of Kim at these parties circulated, many started to believe that her ties to Diddy ran deeper than anyone previously imagined. It wasn't just about partying, it was about being a part of an underground circle. What began as a casual friendship between Kim and Diddy quickly became a symbol of the Kardashian family's dark connections. And this story takes an even darker turn when Kris Jenner's involvement in a suspicious church came to light. Kris and Kim helped found the California Community Church, which on the surface appeared to be a regular religious organization, but sources claim that this so-called church was nothing more than a gateway for money laundering. The church allegedly played a key role in helping Diddy funnel money from illegal activities, including payouts to silence victims of his. Well, Kris and Kim were also at the heart of this operation, working alongside Lou Taylor, a name that rings a bell for many due to her involvement in Britney Spears' conservatorship. Taylor helped orchestrate a money laundering scheme through the church, making it look like Diddy's money was going toward charitable causes, when in reality it was being used to pay off his victims and keep his criminal activities hidden from the people. The church itself raised numerous red flags, with reports of strange donations, financial irregularities, and a lack of transparency. While most people had written it off as just another Kardashian publicity stunt, it became clear that there was something far more going on behind the scenes. The church wasn't just a tax haven for the Kardashians. It was a critical piece of a much larger puzzle involving Diddy's dark empire.
It was so freaking amazing. And that girl, Val, is it Val? She has her ish together. Like, really. It was super cool. And I don't think she thought she was gonna flake on us, did she? Because that night, she was like, thought she was getting interviewed.
But she had the best time. She thought it was like such a cool place, and I love that.
As the allegations against the Kardashians continued to mount, many began to draw attention towards their alleged scheme to control Kanye West. It was said that Kim and Diddy were exploring the idea of putting Kanye under a conservatorship, which would have allowed them to gain control over his finances. Kanye has always been candid about his mental health struggles, while declaring that he had been heavily medicated. His public statements hinted at feelings of being trapped and manipulated, especially during his marriage to Kim. This raised a significant alarm, suggesting that the potential conservatorship was not just a rumor, but a fresh move to gain power over Kanye when he was at his most vulnerable period. Fans of the rapper were outraged at the thought that the Kardashian family would stoop so low, using their wealth and influence to dominate someone who had already been open about his mental battles. Now, things got more messier when Kim decided to unfollow Diddy on Instagram right before feds showed up at his place. It was just a day before, and while unfollowing someone might seem like no big deal, some folks started to wonder if Kim had a heads up about Diddy's legal issues and was trying to bail before things got crazy. This move only added fuel to the fire of conspiracy theories, making people think the Kardashians might be hiding more than they let on. Kim's quick exit from Diddy's circle was pretty chilling. Social media users jumped on the idea that this wasn't just a coincidence, it was part of a pattern. Kim has a history of cozying up to controversial figures and then ghosting them when things go south. This just made fans more curious about the Kardashians' ties to Diddy and whether they were involved in his personal activities. Then there was the whole Balenciaga mess, which just piled on more drama for the Kardashian clan. Kim got a ton of backlash for backing the luxury brand after it got called out for a creepy campaign featuring kids in weird situations. Critics slammed Balenciaga for promoting harmful stuff and wondered why Kim stayed quiet during all the chaos. This silence felt very similar to what was happening with Diddy. It seemed like the Kardashians were trying to dodge a bunch of scandals while keeping up their public image.
U.S. Attorney Damian Williams promised earlier this week, he said this is an ongoing investigation and that they will be speaking to more people. We found out that these two individuals, and we have actually spoken to one of them. They are both workers, currently sex workers. One of them says that they had an interaction with Diddy in 2014, and they are willing to tell the feds what they know about that interaction.
In a world where the Kardashians built their brand on being fake and opportunistic, their connections to Diddy's scandals and their alleged behavior around conservatorships created a huge contradiction. They projected this image of empowerment and control, but behind the scenes, they seemed involved in doing some wrongful stuff. Now, fans are piecing together the threads of this story, leading to rampant speculation about the depth of the Kardashians' involvement in Diddy's alleged illegal activities. And social media has been abuzz with discussions, with many users expressing disbelief that the glamorous lives of the Kardashians could be intertwined with such dark secrets. A person commented saying Kim wants to play the victim, but when she was bringing people in, she was part of the sick game. Another one added, when a tape comes up, you know they are involved in this mess. cancel them all. A third person claimed, please send the mother to jail too. With Diddy, she is the worst of them all. This family is very disgusting and dirty. They do anything for money and fame.
You wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really? They could control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
So Kanye West's past warnings about Diddy are starting to feel a lot more serious. He's been pretty vocal about the bad stuff going on in Hollywood, and he has called out Diddy a bunch of times. What used to sound like wild rants are now being looked at with fresh eyes. Fans are starting to think Kanye might have been knowing something when he talked about the darker side of the industry, especially since it seems to connect back to the Kardashians. On top of that, there's some pretty unsettling talk about Khloe Kardashian's obsession with weight loss. People are wondering if her drastic changes and constant pressure to look a certain way are linked to Diddy's crazy parties. These gatherings are known for their wildness and questionable vibes, which could create a toxic atmosphere, pushing people to fit into certain beauty standards. As fans piece things together, it's becoming clear that the glamorous Kardashian life might be hiding some serious personal struggles and societal pressures. Looking ahead, it's hard to say what's next for Kim and Khloe Kardashian. The news about their possible ties to Diddy's wild parties raises some big questions about what could happen legally. The Kardashians have a knack for getting out of sticky situations, but these allegations are pretty serious and could change everything. Well, as we wrap up, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the Kardashians will face justice this time, or will they find another way to evade responsibility? Your opinions matter, so let's keep the conversation going. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for updates on this story. Also, make sure to check out our other video about Hollywood's dark secrets. It's packed with jaw-dropping revelations you should have not heard yet.